I'm doing all right.
Happiness and togetherness.
Sounds like a good motto to me. I love it.
Welcome back to Wook Plus. I'm Weekend Wook, joined by Kevin T tonight. What's up, guys? What a show!
It was an interesting show. Interesting.
I really dug that show. I think it was a very solid performance all around, and that second set was just fucking delivered on so many different levels. It's hard, to rank or rate them against other shows, especially like now with the break and everything. But just like on its own merits, kicking off this little, what do you call it, benefit thing, I thought it was great. T, what'd you think about it?
I really liked it. I really enjoyed the first set. I thought by the time they got into Ocelot, the jam in Ocelot was where it kind of flipped, like they got their shit down, and then it kind of just took off from there. I thought.
Well, let's bring the set list up if you're going to jump in, right? If you're going to
I
jump
was just
in.
going to say, I really enjoyed it. Like, I really enjoyed that first set. And then, as you just said, that second set kind of just really complimented the first set. And it was a really complete show, I felt like. It was fun. It was good.
Yeah. You know what else, too, is I think you guys were talking about on Wednesday about what it does for Dick's. It's cool because it was a great show and it gave the audience tonight something to enjoy, but I don't think it really impedes on Dick's at all either, right? Like it's kind of the best of both worlds. But let's get into the
I think that just the playing, they sounded mid-tour form still, and I think that Paige and Trey having that little thing in the beginning lubed them up. They were loosened up and ready to go when they hit.
And I think that's the biggest positive coming to Dick's is like they'll be in that warmed up, like kind of already going, like after the layoff that they've just kind of had. These are kind of the warm-up shows, and then coming into Dick's. I know we talk about missing songs. I mean, obviously you probably won't get the punch. There's definitely songs I could see coming back at Dick's in the 4 nights, that'll be there.
I think S.A.N.T.O.S might come back. I think I even said that the other night that they're gonna do that, so it's tracking.
Right, there'll be songs, but those one-offs are the ones that you're afraid of. Like, you definitely won't get another punch. If Tila shows up, we won't get that. So there's those that you're worried about. But I feel like tonight was a solid enough show that I'm not gonna, like maybe you get another Chalk Dust at Dick's too, or things like that. So it is what it is. It was fun though. Good show.
I was gonna say I'm not worried about it. T's worried about it.
It's not even for me. I've got mine, but my 2 guys in my crew are still chasing it really hard. And every year at Dick's, it's like their fingers are
Didn't you get one at your first show
at Red Rocks?
Yeah, or was that 94? They did it.
That was 94. They did it, and then I got one
right?
in San Diego a while back too. So I'm good. I just I help friends out.
All right. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Trey put in some thought. He Kill Devil Falls. He was like, "Hey, it's a flood. Let's do Kill Devil Falls."
There is a lot of theming tonight, a lot of on the nose, and I feel like that's a risky move when you're doing a benefit thing. But I love it, and I mean you got to give them the benefit of the doubt. I think this is a good, solid, albeit safe way to start a show, right? Like. They know they're going to play it well. They weren't going to go too crazy with it, but I felt like it was serviceable. This is, if I had to pick one song out of the show to use my serviceable, I think it would be on the Kill Devil Falls.
Fair enough.
And then the Moma, to move on, I think was really beautiful. Yeah, we don't need to talk about Kill Devil Falls anymore. It wasn't a very lengthy or spacious jam, but it was really beautiful and had this really nice modulation in it, and I felt like they were very tight musically in there. I mean, they weren't going too experimental with it, but I thought it was really nice.
Can I say one thing about the Kill Devil Falls though, and the fact that it opens the show? Like, we're kind of used to that being such a ripper, like the MSG one. Like, there's been some really ripping ones, and when you open the show with it, you're not necessarily getting that version of it. It's kind of that, I don't want to say warm-up song, but as you said, serviceable, because it's kind of in that opening slot. So, you're not getting that extended rock and jam one of it, but it still worked where it was, and it was a fun way to open the show, one of those fun openers. And then it kind of did set the stage for that Moma, which was fun. Like, it was a fun moment, and it had some moments in it, like some moments in the Moma.
Yeah, for sure. I liked it better than Evolve to start a set, though, and we'll get into that. But it's like Evolve is like you whimper into the set. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like you gotta, like, and then I feel like Kill Devil Falls, at least we're here, we're in the show, right? Like, it might not be perfect, but it puts you in it.
It's a rocker.
Kev, you're all silent tonight.
I'm listening to you. I was wondering how we ended up back in Kill Devil Falls.
I know.
I wanted to say something about it opening the show, because we've had so many good ones lately that it's weird to get one that's like that. That's not necessarily the shredding.
Let's talk more about Kill Devil Falls, because every time I hear him play it now, I want the 18-minute one, like they did
right,
or whatever.
Right. That's what I was saying. That's why I was
Close the set with.
I'm gonna just keep going to the next songs, and you guys keep bringing it back to Kill Devil Falls.
Right, you go ahead of us, and we'll bring it 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
That Ocelot was nice. It had a really nice groove to it. It's a fun song. I know that's like not everybody's favorite, but man, it's just such a happy song. Yeah,
it was a little extra in the jam. It did.
It was a really tight groove too.
And that's where I said it. I thought that's where it kind of took off. Like, I felt like that's where they really got their legs under them, and it started. This was the first song I was relieved. Actually, I'm like, oh, good, we're not going to get Ocelot at Dicks. Yay!
Yes, I've been crossing songs off. I was like, cool.
I think you jinxed yourself though, Kev, with your Soul Planet wish tonight. I think you jinxed yourself with a Wave of Hope instead, and it kind of bit you.
And I would have liked the Wave of Hope. I would have rolled with that.
I know.
We know you love that song.
Right.
The Wedge was really pretty decent, right? I like that song.
It's solid.
It is what it is.
It's fun to get it. It's not something you get all the time. So, hey, I did want to say one thing about the Mull, because this is a song that I've always hated on. I was so excited that they were starting to take it out. You could feel they were like, you could almost tell that they had a conversation in the green room where Mike was like, Trey, please, let's, for the love of God, just jam my fucking song. And Trey's like, yes, Mike, I will jam your song. And they tried so hard. And then Trey got he couldn't help it. He had to bring it back and close it out. I was like, damn it, Trey, you were this close.
I thought it was solid, and I did. I think you're right. The jam was building, and it looked like all of a sudden, Trey was like, how do I get out of here? Like, wait a minute, I can't be jamming.
Right. I got to save the good stuff for my songs. I got an Evolve coming later.
All right, let me show you how it's done, Mike. I'm going to drop in to punch you in the eye.
But I enjoyed it, though, and that's not a song that I always enjoy personally. So I thought it was good.
Any song about tacos is okay with me.
Yeah. I was watching a video today that was talking about like critiquing shit. And I mean, it was talking about cinema, but like it applies to what we do with this. It's a very personal thing, what we talk about. So it's like, if I don't agree with you, that's fine. That's your take on it, right? But the whole point of it was like, you still should share your opinions, because you should encourage, discourse and stuff. So I like that we come on here and I hate Mull and you love it, and that's fine, right? To talk about
they
it.
They had all their equipment. Did you guys see the picture? Let's detour of them with the governor of New York.
No, I didn't.
She showed up before the show, and it was a backstage shot, and you could see like them all set up like they were on a little bar stage, like everything was all close together. So I guess they were rehearsing or running through things beforehand.
Yeah, that's cool. Did you see the set list from the VIP? That's pretty cool. If I could, Brian and Robert, Sleep, Talk, Strange Design, Mountains in the Mist, and Sample.
That's a good acoustic set. I mean, everything was acoustic, so it was a cool little.
The only one that jumped out as being something maybe special, I obviously haven't heard it, is the Sample, because it isn't an acoustic song.
Right.
Like all
yeah, totally.
I mean, it's definitely worth the $700 or whatever it costs.
I hope the food was good.
What would be cool if Talk showed up in like Dick's, because now they played it and it's in the back of Trey's head. That would be cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They should do Sleep and Dirt together. Sleep Dirt, like the Zappa album, because I would love to write that in a set list.
I'm really going to try hard to get us back on track here. So Adam Mull, they go into Punch, which is always fun to hear. It was a nice.
They were so close. He was so close, but it was an extended intro. It was like he didn't quite get it, so they ran through it again until.
I liked it though. I liked that extended intro. It was a very fun. It was a little funky. It was a little disco-y. It was a very cool, like it kind of built it out, and it was a very fun way to start it. It was almost like a slow Punch build, right? Like it was a kind of a cool intro to it.
Yeah, no, I would definitely agree. I liked it too. Sand, I think though, for me, you were saying Ocelot, but Sand, I think, is where the show took it to a different level. I think from Sand on out was just a higher tier of a show. They launched in, and I mean, it's a great jam vehicle. It's one of my favorites, honestly, but it almost instantaneously launches into a really nice jam. And then with Trey with the Munchkins jam, which he would reprise later.
They played. I swear to God, he teased "Welcome to My Neighborhood" too. Mr.
And
Rogers
Dave's Energy Guide in there, like that thing. That's why I felt like the Ocelot set up everything to come later, because they kind of warmed up with it. And to your point, yes, Sand is where it kicked off, but Sand was kind of that next level that they were able to get to from where they kind of went in the Ocelot. I mean, that thing was that was the first. Got to go re-listen to it tomorrow of the show. I thought like that was just ripping in that thing. That thing was fantastic.
The re-listenability of it is very high.
Very high. I mean, it was an exciting jam. I haven't been that excited about a jam since that MSG Tweezer 2 years ago that I love so much. Like this had that feel to it. It just had that like, yes, let's listen to this again. Like it was fun. It's really cool.
Yeah, I agree. And then the rock and roll to close out the set. I think they forgot how to play it to start, but once they remembered what they were playing, it sounded great.
Now, isn't that the second time rock and roll has showed up this tour to close a set? I think it is.
I think
to close the first set, which is great. It's a good spot.
Do you actually want me to look that up, or
no? Okay.
I don't. We had a producer tonight.
I'm just throwing it out there, but I think that having a cover close the set is a really strong move. Everybody gets into it, whether you're the casual fan who's seen them 3 times or you're the hardcore guy, girl. Yeah.
And Kev, we talk a lot about like how Antelope closes sets and leaves you in that sort of like that going into set break mood. Like this is one of those songs that leaves you going into set break in that mood of like, hell yeah. There you go. Thanks, Stewie.
It was ripping. It was really
ripping.
good.
And that's what you want in the set. It was great.
Yep. All right. Well, let's do some housekeeping real quick. We got a lot of shows coming up. So tomorrow night we'll also be here 15 minutes after Encore. Then Wednesday night, I'm doing a little solo thing with some friends because the rest of the Wooks are going to Denver, and I'm sad, so I want to hang out with the people that aren't traveling. So join me, and then I'm going to have a slew of guest hosts 15 minutes after Encore for all 4 nights of Dicks. So Skinny from Attendance Spot. No, Stub Me Down.
So see,
it's your fault, Ken. It's your fault.
You got it in your head.
You got it in my head. Yeah,
we got
Scotty B is coming on. A couple other people, and then after Dick's, you guys are gonna go without me and kind of make it up and do a Dick's recap, and I'll be on vacation. But the easiest way to not miss any of it is to like or to subscribe to the channel. Also, shout out to our members. We got a couple more new members in. It's awesome. It's a great way to support. Pretty soon on some of these shows, we're going to be, having member only content and subscriber only chats and things like that. So you might as well get in. Also, I got the summer bracket coming up right after Dick's, the summer jam bracket. That'll be held right here on Book Plus on YouTube. So those of you who are familiar, I used to do it on Twitter, the artist formerly known as Twitter. But
and then also, can we talk about this, T?
Yes.
We're going to be going. T and I are going to be going on Taper's Choice Tour and live streaming every show. So those nights you're going to come to Book Plus and you're going to get to see a great live show.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be good. And then after that, we will be posting on YouTube the shows after that so you can rewatch them and see them. But we'll catch a good 10 days of
We
Table's
might even
Choice
be
tour.
able to do it. We might even be able to do it with the laptop during the day the next day.
It's
It'd
true.
be so cool that we have it. Actually, if we do it live, shouldn't it just all right? Never
Yeah,
mind.
just
We can
pretend
talk
like you
about
know
it.
what you guys are doing. It's fine.
Yes, we're doing it. We're doing it. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good
How the
Good show.
sausage is made, part 1.
And one last thing, yes, please donate to Water Wheel because that's what the show was all about. And if you have the means, it's a worthy cause. So
Throw
go
them a
ahead and do
couple
that.
bucks, whatever. It's all going to help. You know, the video was really great that they showed beforehand. I think that was a well done little piece to show what the damage was.
And hey, doing the streams for free is fantastic. Let's the money you're saving on that kick down a little to the donation.
You can
So
pay
you
what you
notice
think
how
it's worth.
smooth it was on YouTube? There was no issues. It's like, God damn, I wish they would just do that because it's just forget the like greed or the cost, just how much better the setup is. It's just so much smoother. But
true.
anyway, let's get into the second set because this was one hell of a set, I thought. Well, after Evolve, but we have to start somewhere.
Evolve, let me start.
Yes,
Evolve
please.
is a solid, it's a very well written tune. It's solid. It goes, in my mind, along with the Sing Monicas and the line and things like that are really well crafted tune. And if another band did it,
That's how you sell somebody on a song. You bring up
Right.
Sing Monica in the line. That's a very convincing argument.
well, but I'm saying if another band did it, some indie band did it, it would probably get some traction on indie radio because I think that they're just well constructed songs. Does it work with PHiSH in the live setting as a set 2 opener?
not really as an opener,
Well, it's because it limps in. There's no like hit. It almost feels like they fuck. I don't know. Like it just limps in so weakly. But it is kind of an earworm though. As much as I'm not a huge fan of it, like later on in the night, you're like first come da, 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 and then you don't know, you're bobbing your head and
it gets stuck in your head. And
It's
that's
fucking
the-
there.
It's a catchy tune.
right. But I don't know if that's a good thing. Like that doesn't make it a good song. It just makes it a catchy song.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's the band that's doing the song is I think part of the disconnect with it.
Yeah, maybe.
And it was
I don't
funny
know.
because I think the guys in the truck considered it the closer because they threw the credits up right when it ended. And I was like, whoa, what's going on there?
Oh man.
It is better than More Makita. You're right.
I was worried that like I fucking lost track of time and all of a sudden the
You're
show
like,
is
that
over.
was a long evolve. Wait, it's already over?
But then we get in the 2 spot a very girthy, a nice size Wave of Hope, which is become a modern day jam vehicle, and this was a very standard, and not in a negative way because it's a Wave of Hope has been a great jam vehicle, but this was a very standard Wave of Hope. I felt like, but the first 20 plus minutes jam of the night.
I thought it had a little bit of. I thought it was out there. I thought it had a few.
Is this the one that got spacey, or was it Simple that got really spacey?
I
at the
thought
end?
Simple got way better out there. And
Yeah.
maybe I was higher on Wave of Hope until I guess we could talk about both of them together because they play off of each other. Like I was much higher on Wave of Hope until they got in the Simple Jam. And then the Simple Jam was like, this is what I want out of a PHiSH. And it kind of like, you know what I mean? It's like it made it not seem as spectacular because you got something way better right after it.
But it also, once again, it kind of set it up because they kind of noodled with it in the Wave of Hope, and then it sort of evolved into that Simple where you could kind of see it coming, and then you're like, "Ooh, that kind of sounds like we're gonna get a Simple." And then they did get into it, and then once you got through the lyrics of Simple and they were able to like stretch the legs on it, it really went kind of back into where a Wave of Hope was going, but didn't quite get to, and really took it out there with the Simple, which was
I thought Wave of Hope was landing in plasma for a second.
Yeah.
It sounded like Trey was going to get into that, and Fishman was when they went into Simple. I think Fishman was not playing Simple in the beginning. I don't think he expected that to happen.
them to go
Yeah,
into
well, they
that.
were he resisted going fully into it, but I think that was on purpose, like to just draw out the transition. It was up tempo too. I think that was one of the big things. Is even the riff. I think Trey came in quite a bit up tempo than they usually started, which was a nice way to like get into it. I think it kept the energy up.
Right. We get two kinds of simples these days. We'll get the 6-7 minute simple that Trey throws as an afterthought towards the end of a set where we're getting the kitchen sink set, you're getting a bug or a number line in there too. Or we have something that's really a beautiful, the space section in this. I so love that they completely just dug into that. You usually don't get that with PHiSH. They don't just let it go and let it dissolve completely like that.
Well, this year,
Depends on the
which is weird
songs.
that they're missing it, because I felt like in 21 they did that like every show. They just let it go into crazy abyss. And you're right, I've missed that a lot this year. If you kind of leave a show and you're like, wait, what happened? Why aren't we doing that? So I don't think they even did it enough in the simple. Like, it was nice that they did it a little bit, but I don't know. I feel like that we've been missing that a lot this year. And darkness too. What happened to the dark jams? Has there been a single
Are you going
dark
to do
jam this
Oblivion?
year?
I mean, Kill Devil Falls, Velvet Sea is one thing, but Oblivion at a flood relief. I mean, you probably shouldn't get.
Well, I mean, we've gotten the well got a little
the
dark.
well. Yeah, that's another one you might not.
Right. Like, I mean, you're not going to kind of get into that and get really dark and, Kareeny nasty and that kind of thing. And even like Split and get that, like you were saying, Kev, like that's usually our spacey breakdown.
Right.
Totally. Kind of like what Bowie used to do too, was get into those really big breakdowns and get kind of out there and then bring it all back in. And it's kind of,
the melts this year were really good at that. I mean,
Yeah.
they always are, but I feel like it's still not as much as years past. Maybe
No,
definitely not. Hopefully, we'll get some of that at Dick's. Hopefully, they'll
get a nice dark, spacey catapult style. That one was a couple years ago. That was really
machine. Yeah. So we got them Vikings. The Vikings showed up, so I'm good.
That's your standard now for Fuego.
That is.
That's the barrier that we got to look for. But then another good jam in there too. You got a pretty good, decent jam after that, which was cool to like extend it out again.
I'm gonna bring it back to simple, like you brought it back to Kill Devil Falls.
That's all right. Go ahead.
So Came to Play saying that it got dark, and like I felt like it was getting dark while I was listening to it, but then when you look back and compare it to like actual dark jams, it really wasn't that dark, right? Like, am I just crazy? I feel like it felt dark just because of how not dark everything else is. Everything else is so blissful and major and happy that what they did in simple felt a little bit dark, but in reality, I don't think it was really that.
It felt more broken down, like Kev's like to say, and spacey than dark. You know what I mean? Like it felt a little bit more in that realm than really getting like those, where you get with like the Kareenis and like the well and those kind of things where it gets dark in those jams and it's a little, like Kev says, like muddy and nasty and like trudging through it with an evil. It didn't get
we're
evil.
all on the same page then. What you're saying, we are. And he agrees. Yeah, I think we're
Paul, I do not know if Divided Sky isn't in bad taste, because that's about after. It's like when they did it at Red Rocks and the storm's gone.
And I'm surprised today we didn't get any rain songs, because the acoustic set was played in the rain. So I thought, there was rain today. I thought we'd get at least something about that in there with a, maybe a Divided Sky.
I feel like the rain songs at a flood benefit is not a great.
But it's still raining. I mean, come on, it's still.
We got Waiting in the center of town.
We got Velvet Sea.
Well, we are not skipping over this chalk dust though, because
we skipped over the Fuego though. I thought
no, we didn't. You got your Vikings. You were happy. That's all
we
got.
Vikings and we moved on, Kev. You got your Vikings and we moved on.
I tell you what, Trey forgot his lessons and isn't giving them the chance, because he went into that chalk dust and the rest of the band was like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah, but it was
he did so well all summer.
It was fine. It was one time and it was ripping and they needed it. I think this was a case of grabbing the end of the show by the horns and realizing that they were 50, 60 minutes into the set and I've only played 3 songs.
Well, that was the thing, right? You had back to back. You had 2 songs that were 40 minutes. You couldn't give us another 15, 18-minute Fuego. You had to cut that short in order to get a chalk. And it still was 11 with a 10-minute chalk dust. So you still got 2 songs in over 20 minutes. So,
and I thought the chalk dust had a little extra to it. The way they jammed out and ended it was fucking awesome. And bringing back the Munchkin Jam for the reprise. That was so cool.
It's a 5-song second set, and Chalk Dust now seems to live to close set 2. They did it at the Man, I think in MSG one of the nights, the Chalk Dust, that's where it showed up. So maybe that's where it lives now. Right. Do you think PHiSH should try to have some songs only show up in one place? Like, you know how the Dead did. Sugar Mag always closed the second set. You rarely got it to open a set, kind of thing. Like Love Light always closed the set. Should PHiSH lean on songs like that? Or
no. I think we have a few of them though, like Antelope, where it usually pops in these days. Occasionally it's in a different, but it's usually pretty much where it is. All S.A.N.T.O.S now is pretty much where it always is, either a closer or an encore. So I think there are songs that have kind of worked their way into specific positions in the set list. Occasionally they'll throw them into different areas and kind of mess with it a little bit, but I think there's some that have settled into that, I think.
I love the variety and the changes and the subverting of expectations that they do. I think as long as you don't fuck the flow up of this show, right? Because there is something to the way the show flows and the way you climax the set. And like the set itself needs to feel the same way a song sometimes does, right? Like the chorus verse, like there's a flow to the set. But I like the fact that you can't predict the set list 60% of the time because you're an old head and have seen 100 shows, right? Like as many shows as we've all seen, it would be almost impossible to predict the show. And I like that.
Late 80s, you could basically, if you had 3 or 4 Dead set list, you could nail 80% of what the next show was.
Yeah.
Which is great for that experience, but that's not what I want with PHiSH, not right now. So, you know. Yeah, it was a great second set though. I thought this was a really solid first show of the.
Do you think that we will ever get? I was thinking it would be this summer, a set that is only 4.0, 3.0, 4.0 songs.
No, I don't.
I hope not. But yeah, I mean, I hope not. That's all.
Well, you might. If it were like a Halloween or like a gag set where it was like all new music, but I don't think it would just be like a normal summer show or a normal fall tour where it would be that unvaried. I think he likes mixing it up too much and bringing
we
stuff
get
in.
Sets that are all 1.0.
Yeah,
but that was.
You might get like a third set all 3.0 or something, you know, like in one of those shows, like to Tim said, like a New Year's or a Halloween where it's the third set and it's, you know, a line of those songs. But I don't think so. I hope not, anyway, like I said. But yeah, Tim, to your point, I thought this second set, like, you know, we talked about some of the MSG shows and stuff, how the first sets were so good and some of the second sets lagged in that area, or some of the second sets were really good compared to that. I think this was a complete show. I think the second set really matched up well with the first set in this one, and it really was a complete show.
Whoever said earlier that it probably isn't top 10 of the summer, I would agree with that too.
Yeah, but it's, I don't know, man. Like maybe I'm just tired in general, but like the whole tiering against. It's so funny because I'm in the middle of seating a bracket, so like I'm gonna look.
We did a tier show.
Right. I know. I'm an asshole. I get it, but like I'm just kind of like I enjoyed tonight. I don't give a fuck how it compares to the rest of the summer. I don't have photographic memory, so in reality, it's impossible to give you an accurate comparison. I think, but you don't think it's top 10?
No, I don't think it's.
Do you think there's 10?
I don't know about that. I thought it was a good enough show to at least crack the top 10, especially after we did the recap.
There's only 23 shows, so you're saying half of the summer tour was better than tonight?
Mm-hmm. I think if you look at our Wednesday night tiering that we did with the Stub Me Down guys, I think you could fit this show in there.
I would say it's probably in that 9 to 8, 9, 10 maybe.
I think that where would you put it? Like in that CB range, you know? That I mean, it's obviously not in the.
It would be a C.
On the border, I think the cusp of a B-, a C, maybe.
That Simple Jam was phenomenal. I think the Simple Jam alone lifts it up into the B range. You're right, and the Sand was fucking great too. No, I think it's definitely up in the B range. I'm like, I don't want to rank it now. I'm fucking ranking.
No, right.
Yeah, Eric, these assholes are all like, I
Yeah,
agree.
I agree.
It's
That
free,
was
so it's
nice.
awesome. I mean, they're all free when you know. who
Thank
to
you,
ask.
Jason. Thank you. Thank
See,
you.
C plus B minus. It's right on that cusp. I feel like it's right in there. And we had a few. That was not 10 songs that were in the A to B to C range. There, no way. So it would definitely fit in that top 10.
Yeah,
All right, Velvet
then-
C. I don't know
Velvet
about that
C.
as a choice for a flood benefit.
that was on the nose, a bit on the nose. Okay, fine.
It's never been my favorite song.
Yeah,
So, but it's it's your song too. Oh wait, that's
Well,
Joy.
that's
know
joy.
it's setting up another song is the good news, right? You're not. That's
Yeah.
not where it's ending. So you're getting a double encore. So
Yeah.
Cool.
And then S.A.N.T.O.S was a good enough way to end the show. I think it's an upbeat way to end it. It's you know what it is? If you're like a hardcore 1.0, love the old stuff and aren't into any new, the vintage of tonight was 2004. There was a lot of more recent jam vehicles and newer rockers, but I think that having the sand and the chalk dust and like the old stuff where it was placed balanced it out really well. And the newer stuff like that Wave of Hope is just a fucking great jam vehicle. So I don't know.
He really likes S.A.N.T.O.S. I feel like we get a lot of, as we just mentioned, where it goes, that encore or the closing of the sets and stuff in there. And I feel like it's one of somebody's favorite song in the band to play because they really like using it as sort of that outro song and leaving you on that note. And it's fine. And to your point, Tim, it's fine. I don't want to say I'm getting sick of it, but it's just like it's sort of.
Oh yeah, you're right. Fuck it. I am sick of it. This whole encore was bullshit. I'm actually gonna take back what I said. The first and second set I felt like was an A show. And if they had given a more appropriate encore for it, I think we would have been saying it was an A. But they came out with yeah, exactly. I you know what? Now that we're talking through it, I think that's what happened. I think the second set was awesome, and then they kind of came out and were like, "Nah, I don't know." We're gonna give you a weak ass Velvet scene, and we're gonna try to polish it up with the 5-minute S.A.N.T.O.S. It's like, all right.
The polish a turd, but it's still a
They
turd.
didn't even rip out that S.A.N.T.O.S. Like that song has a great space in it to rip out and be a little bit, at least an 8-9 minute song, and give you a little bit of fun in there. And it kind of really didn't get there with it. It was 5 minutes. You're like, eh.
Right. If you only have 5 minutes, you're only gonna do that. Then do like a Hendrix cover or just like some rip and rate,
Fire,
like
bust out the fire again.
right, exactly, and just close it out and be done.
Yeah.
Speaking of being done, I'm done.
I'm done.
I love you guys, but I think that's
hey,
it.
have a good show tomorrow night. I'll be on the road heading to Colorado, so I won't see you for a while. Take care.
You guys have fun at Dick's. I'm really jealous. I mean, I'm happy to be here doing the after shows and hanging out with everyone else, but I'm gonna miss you guys.
We'll
All right,
miss
thanks
you.
everybody. Like, subscribe. We'll see you next time.